I'm super excited because we just got our Garbo food composter by Edu. I have never used one before, but I have spent a lot of time reading about it because I do want to make sure that I am using it to its full potential. Reducing our food waste has been something that's been really important to us and something we've been talking about for a long time. And I read this can reduce that food waste up to 90%. So it is going to take all of those food scraps and any of your decompostables like napkins and your paper plates and things like that, and it is going to turn it into a nutrition fertilizer that you can then use in your garden for planting, gardening, and all of that. Like, that to me just seems so mind-blowing, and I cannot wait to give it a try. So let's check out the machine. So right off the bat, I am loving everything about this look. It is super modern. It is plastic. It does have some weight to it, but obviously it's easily movable around, when you're trying to figure out the perfect spot for it. The plug is not super long, which is actually something that I love. I have way too many appliances in my kitchen and all these cords all over the place. So I do actually really love this length. And so far, by the looks of it, this is really, really easy to use. You have your power button, and then this right here, this is what is going to open the machine. And what I have realized is that the machine won't even start or won't even work until you actually have it locked, which I think is really cool because, you don't accidentally want to start it when maybe you're not ready to do so. So we're just going to open that back up. And a very important thing is when you're setting your machine up, there are stickers and plastic kind of all over the place that need to be removed. Like, you have a max fill line inside here, and there is a sticker there that needs to be removed. There is a reminder here that you don't want to just leave liquid inside, but that sticker needs to be removed. In the back, we actually have the whole filter system back here, and this is actually what is going to help eliminate the odor. There is the activated charcoal and the carbon in here. So apparently, again, I haven't used it yet, but there is supposed to be no odor because it all gets absorbed in here. But there are stickers all over the machine that you need to make sure you're, even on the top here. If you do not remove these, you're going to get that burning smell, and you could honestly ruin your machine. Look, there's even one here. So you need to make sure you take that time to remove every single sticker. I do want to just point out there's one sticker I forgot to remind you guys about to remove. It is in the back of the filter. You just push this up, and there will be a sticker right across this vent right here. So just make sure you remove that. There is even, where is it? I thought, oh, look, there's even a little water tray down here. And this is when obviously it's going to remove any of the moisture, any liquid. You need to make sure that you're pulling this out, cleaning that, and dumping out that water from time to time. So that will definitely be something that I am checking in between every use for sure. I highly suggest before you start, you just take a minute to flip through the instruction manual. Everything you need to know is there. But for me, the most important part, I am loving this visual of the yes and no things that can actually go into your composter. Like, one of the things that really stuck out to me that I probably wouldn't even realize is like the stone or the pit inside of like a peach or an avocado. Like, that cannot go in here. Obviously, glass can't go in here, plastic. There are lots of things that can't, certain bones cannot go in here, but soft bones can, like fish bones. So again, take the time, read through it, because you do not want to get this machine and then ruin it on your first try. So I've spent a lot of time looking through all of that. There's actually even a sticker of all the things that are like, no, do not put this in here. So if you wanted, you can actually stick it on top of your composter, just in case you have someone who isn't familiar and just wants to, put stuff in there. So again, very useful. All of that is there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm really, really excited. I'm going to try this for the very first time. The bucket is really neat because it's not like locking in there. There are just arrows that you line it up, and they do suggest pulling it out before you add whatever you want to compost in there, instead of dumping it from the top, because then that might create splatter and it's going to get gross. And so yeah, something to keep in mind. And there is, of course, I'm just looking for it, I believe it's the indent, the fill line they have here. And yeah, I'm just going to, I have some food scraps. I have some paper towels, napkins, things like that, that I'm going to put in there left over from a couple of our lunches. and the bucket just goes right in here. I'm just looking for the arrows. I lined them up. It fits perfectly. I'm going to close this lid. The first thing I'm going to do is obviously lock it, because remember I said it will not work unless it is locked. And then I'm just going to hit that power button, and it is supposed to just start and do its thing, and it will run through those cycles. It has the drying cycle, the grinding cycle, and then the cooling cycle, and it will do all of those automatically. And yeah, so we're going to come back in 6 to 10 hours and we're going to see what we have. So it is done. We are about to open it. I haven't looked inside. I don't know what it looks like. Yesterday, so the scraps that we put in here, we had some, leftover veggies. We had some rice, a couple paper towels, a few meat scraps. So all of that we just scraped right in here instead of putting it into our garbage can. We started it. It ran overnight. I'm not 100% sure how long it took because we were sleeping, but the box, as I mentioned before, does say 6 to 10 hours. So definitely was somewhere in that range. It turned off on its own, so that was completely safe and fine. So I feel really good about that. And it has a motor inside and it wasn't really loud. Like we were watching TV last night while it was running and like it wasn't not disturbing or anything like that. So let's go ahead and unlock this, open it up and take a peek. Whoa, this is so cool. Hopefully you can actually see that. It is so crazy to think that this was like my leftover scraps, my veggies, paper towels, all of that in there. So now this can just be added to any soil and it is filled with all of those nutrients. We personally are not gardeners. I do not have a green thumb. I'm going to be giving this to my mom to add to her garden. But like honestly, even if you don't have a garden or someone to give it to, like you can at least just put this outside in your yard somewhere and it's just not going into a garbage and going into a landfill. This will just be going into the soil. This is fantastic. I'm super excited.